Awesome. So my name is Lori Salazar, and I'm the Associate Director at the Center for Student Involvement, and excited to be here to welcome our presenters and have you all have this space. And we'll have question and answers after they host their presentation, but feel free and use the Q&A feature in Zoom. If you don't see it right at the bottom of your screen, please click the three dots that say more, and you will see the Q&A option there. So please put any questions there. We ask that you stay on mute while the presentation is going on, and then when we open it up for Q&A, you can use the raise your hand feature or unmute yourself to ask any questions verbally to our presenters. So without further ado, we will go ahead and get started, and I welcome our lovely presenters, and I will start off with Allie to kick us off.
Hello, I'm Allie Reimer, Director of Marketing and Communication here in the college. And I'm kind of running the back of the Zoom webinar session stuff. So I'm going to pass it to Daniel. You're muted, Daniel.
Good old Zoom etiquette. Daniel Press, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, really excited to have you here and looking forward to seeing you next week. We have a nice, not too long presentation for you. I'm joined by a couple of our associate deans. John, I'm going to hand it to you, and then we'll go to Kat and then Ambika.
I'm John Birmingham. I'm an associate dean. I'm also a professor of physics, and this will be my 25th year on the faculty at Santa Clara. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kat Saxton. I'm also an associate dean in the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm faculty in biology and public health.
Hello, I'm Ambika Ramadurai. I'm a rising second year at SU, majoring in political science and minoring in music and women's and gender studies. And I'm so excited for all of you to be joining the Bronco family.
Thank you, Ambika. John, you want to put up our slides? Thanks. Right, maybe there you go. Super. So we're zooming in from the balmy 89-degree Santa Clara. Been kind of warm. Hope it's sunny, but not too hot for you all. So as we put in the slide there, put in the chat where you're zooming in from. It's kind of cool to see where everybody is these days. So you've had some of you may have joined the prior webinar today, or maybe have looked at other materials, but this is really a College of Arts and Sciences pre-orientation prep kind of meeting to help you be really ready for orientation, to help your student be ready for orientation, and to learn a little bit more about the college, a little bit more about navigating. So we'll get into our presentation right after our land acknowledgement. So John, if you'll forward the slide, and if you want to give the land acknowledgement. Oh yeah, there's our little, yeah, go for it.
We pause to acknowledge that Santa Clara University sits on the land of the Ohlone and the Muwekma Ohlone people, who trace their ancestry through the missions Dolores, Santa Clara, and San Jose. We remember their connection to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to live, work, learn, and pray on their traditional homeland. Let us take a moment of silence to pay respect to their elders and to all Ohlone people, past and present.
Thanks, John. How about if we go to the next slide? So this slide is titled How to Get the Most Out of College, but it's really how to get the most out of orientation and the beginning of fall quarter. We're really laser focused on orientation. This is our first new student in-person orientation since 2019. We're very excited about that. We're very excited about students and their parents coming to Santa Clara in the summer in person to get really prepared for the fall quarter, not just to get your classes all together, but also to get a feel again for the campus. This time, not as a prospective student, but really as knowing that this is where you're going to spend some time. So a few things about this moment in the week or two before orientation, before you come for orientation. So your student will have gotten a link to our Camino course. Camino is the educational platform, the software that we use to put educational materials up. During the COVID pandemic, just about everything was on a Camino-like software that faculty all around the world were using to put up their material. Maybe your child had that in high school too. During the pandemic. So this is a very familiar platform. It's something that we use not just for online courses, but for course management all the time. The Camino course is a great course. If your student hasn't taken it, and taking the Camino course really just means working through the slides, watching the great videos that our faculty and our student ambassadors like Ambika have put together that really help to not just list out a long list of requirements for orientation, but really to animate those requirements and make them really easy to understand and to do. And so please have your student do the Camino course. It's really great. It'll answer so many questions. It'll anticipate. It'll help lower your blood pressure, really. There are a few highlights in the pre-orientation that we would really like you to remember or to know about. Quite a number of students have to take calculus for their majors. The Camino course will walk you through whether you have to take calculus for your major, and if you do, what that means. So there's a calculus readiness exam that is offered online in the summer, starting in June every year. And if your student is required to take calculus for their major, they have to have determined whether they have to take that calculus readiness exam. And if so, they have to take that exam and make sure that the scores are reported to us so we can know what math class they can take in summer. So that's super important to do. If they haven't done it, try to do it now. Try to do it before orientation. It's about 90 minutes. And it will, having done it, will allow your student to register the next week or the week after when they come for orientation. Kat, I think I got that right, didn't I? Good, okay. In a similar vein, but less urgent for this month, is the language placement process. There's a process that places students in the appropriate language requirement and level. So here at Santa Clara, we require a second language. In some majors, it would be 3 classes. In others, it would be 2. And you'll have to look at your majors list. Again, the Camino course will explain that for you, including whether your student took an AP language and depending on what their score, what they got. You're going to hear everybody say that we would love it if your student would log into Workday as soon as they get here for orientation. The logging into Workday the first day before they sign up for classes is super important. Have your student figure out what Workday looks like, make sure that they could even log in, that their account is live and active, and then they will on that second day be all set to register for classes because they will have gotten into Workday without any trouble. So far, so good. Okay. Allie, any questions that we need to answer at this point? No. All right. Very good. Okay, so I'd also like to talk a little bit about parent involvement here in orientation and also after orientation. Uh, we're really excited to see the parents during orientation. I'll be seeing a lot of you at receptions. We have a parent event at 2 p.m. on the first day of orientation, and I'm really excited to get to see you in person. Uh, I'll probably get to see you more than your students, who will be busy doing all the things that they have to do instead of talking to deans. But there's a message I really would like to convey right now, right as your student enrolls in the first quarter of their first year, and that is that, you know, I'd love you to help encourage and reinforce the notion that we're a community of learners here on campus. You'll hear it. It's almost a trope or a meme that our professors want their students to come to office hours, and are the students coming to office hours or not? But really, one of the secret sauce, the magic of Santa Clara is the relationship between the faculty and their students. Of course, the students and the students' own relationships with each other, but the faculty and the students is special. And so students take advantage of the faculty. The faculty at this university are all about the students. They're excited about the students. They're excited about each quarter when they're starting a new class, to getting to meet the students or seeing students come that they've known before come back into their classes, and they really would like to know about them and mentor them and have that rapport. So really, I can't stress enough, stay after class, talk to your professors, get to know them. That's a super important message. In terms of you parents, your own involvement with the students, now it changes from high school to college. I have a student, I have a child who graduated from college some years ago, and I have some who are still in high school. So I know where you're at. You're used to being as concerned as I am about grades and about how your student is progressing. Now they're in college, and it's a different ballgame. Of course, they need your support. They need your attention a lot. But things change when they turn 18. When they turn 18, they are covered by the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, what's called FERPA of 1974. And FERPA essentially says that academic records of a student are private. And so as a parent, if you want access to your student's academic records, you and your child have to discuss that. Your student can give you access to their material, but it has to be something that they do deliberately. So it's really a great time now to talk about the FERPA release, talk about the kind of involvement you and your child both have, what expectations you have about being involved in the academic progress of your students. John, let's have the next slide, shall we? Okay, talking about this first year, you know, we talk a lot about students' majors and whether they have a major coming in or whether they're undeclared. We think undeclared is not as exciting a term as explorers. I would say if your student hasn't selected a major or stated an intent for a major, call them explorers, because that's the wonderful magic and genius of the American liberal arts university experience. The genius of this experience is that you can come in not having a major and experience the rich core curriculum that we have here, explore, discover, learn, and be inspired, and allow these first few years of being in college, this first year especially, to reveal the path for you. So, so that's the beauty of undeclared versus versus already knowing. Now, if you if your student hasn't declared a major or hasn't expressed a major, but has a strong inclination towards one or the other, we encourage your student to reach out early to the department chair or the faculty if they, for example, if they said, you know, I really think I'm going to become I want to be a biologist, I'm not sure, go talk to biology faculty. Kat is a biology faculty, Professor Saxton here, and I can't tell you there's not a more welcoming person on the planet. So it's pretty good to talk to the faculty. There are lots and lots and lots of support services on campus. They are also discussed in the Camino course. They will be discussed a lot during orientation. We have an excellent writing center, the Hub Writing Center. We have the Math Learning Center also, which is a place that is extraordinary in terms of getting students help with math. And of course, the Drawman Advising Center is super, super important. I will also say and acknowledge what you already know, and that is that the COVID years were very stressful for children. Maybe most stressful for children of school age among most of the population. And we're still experiencing that here at university. So Santa Clara University has wonderful, extraordinary counseling and psychological services. We have a wonderful website that explains all that. There it is, that Allie is providing it in the chat. So it's not too early to take a look at the services that are offered and to make sure that your child, your student, knows what's there. And of course, I'm just reinforcing what they're going to hear during orientation also. Okay, John, could we have the next slide, please? The College of Arts and Sciences is what your student has chosen to join, and that's wonderful because it's the liberal arts heart of the university. It's a wonderful place. There are 33 majors to choose from in the college, 49 minors. And so that's a really rich experience. It's everything from the traditional sciences that you know of, chemistry, biology, physics, math, to the social sciences like sociology, anthropology, Ambika's department, political science, psychology, of course, is a big one, to the arts, theater, dance, music, the studio arts, and to the humanities, English, history. Of course, we have a very strong religious studies here, being a Jesuit university. I will say also that between 450 and 500 students in the college double major in any given year. So about 15% of our students are double majoring. And many students, just like Ambika, are majoring in one, but minoring in others. The most common kind of conversation I have when I see students and I say, what's your major? They say, well, I'm majoring in this, I'm majoring that, I'm minoring in this and minoring in that, or I'm majoring in double minoring or triple minoring. It's quite amazing how much students will get out of the college by exploring all these different majors. Of course, there's a kind of productive, great tension between depth and breadth. The beauty of a major is that you really get deeply trained in one thing. The beauty of interdisciplinary or double majoring or minoring is that you get a chance to explore widely across different fields. And in a way, isn't this what your student has been doing already in high school? To go through the typical high school curriculum, your student will have been exposed to the liberal arts, will have been exposed to science and social science, arts and humanities, to extracurricular activities. We in the college want to encourage that your student continue to do that they don't just shut that well-rounded, full-rounded person off when they come to college. So that's another thing I think that you can help them with. And then the last thing I'll say about exploring in the college is that we really push internships a lot. We really support internships. You'll learn more about that during orientation, and your student will learn more about it when they get here. Internships are a great way to see how a particular career might work, or to see what they don't like also. And we offer a lot of support services for that. So we're really excited to see you and your students here next week. We're already very impressed by them and can't wait to meet them. And of course, since students are far more interested, if we could have the next slide, John, maybe we could have Ambika say a little bit about what she's studying and why. We have a couple slides here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dean Press. So hi again, I'm Ambika, and I'm a student ambassador for the College of Arts and Sciences here at SCU. I'm from San Jose, California, so been in the Bay Area my whole life. I love it here. I'm a political science major, as I said earlier, also a double minor in music and women's and gender studies. And on campus, I'm involved with our Associated Student Government. This year, I'll be serving as the Senator at Large for Socioeconomic Inclusion. I also work for the Multicultural Center, where I'm the advocacy coordinator. And I'm also a part of Intandesh, which is our South Asian Student Association. And I'm involved with different music ensembles through the music department. So there is a lot that the college offers for students to get involved in. And something I love that I'd love to highlight is specifically with the music ensembles. Before I became a music minor, I found out that music ensembles are open to anyone, regardless of skill level, regardless of prior experience. And while, yes, I do have a lot of experience with music, my background was solely in South Asian classical music. So I came in not knowing how to read music or never having been in an ensemble type organization or group. But after speaking to professors within the music department, they shared that I would get the support I needed to be able to perform and participate in the ensemble regardless of my experience. And I enjoyed that so much that right after my first quarter participating in a music ensemble, I ended up declaring the music minor. So in the fall, I'll be taking different music classes offered from the department, where I'll actually be learning how to read music and more about music theory. So I think something that SCU does that's really unique is we offer a lot of different ways for students to get involved, regardless of whether or not you have experience, because we're all here to learn. And to learn doesn't mean you need to know things already. And yeah, I guess I can to touch a little bit more about my classroom experiences with SCU. So I came to SCU specifically because I found that the emphasis on interdisciplinary learning was something that I found was really emphasized throughout the core curriculum. So every college has a slightly different curriculum, but what makes the College of Arts and Sciences unique is that it allows you to explore different disciplines. So even though I'm a political science major, where a lot of classes I'll be taking are social science classes, I also have the opportunity to explore natural science classes or arts classes. And it's really nice because I'm able to take different classes that have allowed me to explore different interests. And yeah, I guess leading on to why my major, why political science, what have my experiences been with this. So I guess going back to when I first finished high school, was ready to start my first year at SCU, I ended up meeting a professor at one of the orientation events, Dr. James Lai, who is a professor for the ethnic studies department. And I was talking to him about how, I'm interested in ethnic studies. I took an ethnic studies class in high school. I'm wondering how I can explore this at SCU without necessarily being an ethnic studies major or minor. And he spoke about how the departments at SCU are very interdisciplinary, and how even though he is an ethnic studies professor, he also teaches a course that blends ethnic studies and race and ethnicity with politics. So there's a lot of overlap between classes. And he even told me about how in the fall there was going to be a new professor coming whose research is all about Asian American politics. And keeping this in mind, this past spring, I ended up taking her class, and it race and ethnicity in U.S. politics, and it ended up being my favorite. So soon I reached out to her about research, and soon I'll be working with her to research more about racial politics, specifically in the Bay Area. So I think that just is a great example of how easy it is to talk to professors at SCU, and how everyone is encouraging and wants you to engage with learning in different ways, but also kind of how our curriculum flows and how you don't necessarily need to be majoring in X, Y, or Z to take those classes.
That's wonderful, Ambika. Thank you. I don't know how you have time for all that. It's great. It's amazing. John, maybe go to the last slide. Yeah, last slide, sorry. There you go. So we'd love to hear from you. We have some emails there. Of course, we're going to see you during orientation. And at this point, I think maybe we should leave up the emails there so that people can have time to write them down or copy them, and take live questions if people want them. How's that sound?
Daniel, could I answer Anne's question? I was going to do it in type, but I think I hit the wrong button.
Okay.
Anne asked which computer would be best for a student in doing a computer science degree. And this is a question that I don't know the answer to, but you parents, kids, your students, feel free to ask me these questions, because I know a guy who knows a guy, and we'll get the answer to that. So I will find the answer to those sort of things. And I would just say, just in general, I mean, when your students are, have an issue with the class, go to the instructor, go to the chair. But I'm always happy to take your questions, and I appreciate your concerns, and just don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
We had one question that I thought would be good for everyone to hear the answers to.
Yeah.
So Paul asked, are there prerequisites to adding a minor, an emphasis, or a double major? And does it matter if the added minor or major is in a different college?
Well, the first, John, you want to
Well,
take that?
yeah, I would just say a major or a minor in a different college is very different. For example, we have in physics, we have a number of students who are doing a minor in mechanical engineering, and they're just satisfying the requirements. To do a major in a different college or school, in a different school, you have to actually be admitted, and that's not trivial. So it's for students who are in the College of Arts and Sciences. If your student decided that they wanted to do business or to do engineering, they would apply at the end of the first year, and that they'd have to have a certain GPA, and it's not a foregone conclusion. But adding a major or a minor within the college is, you just have to fulfill the requirements, and there's a little bit of paperwork, but I don't think they use paper anymore.
The question was whether they would have to do prerequisites before. So let's say that I'm a political science major and I want to add a music major. Would I I probably would just go talk to the music faculty and I would declare this. Yeah, would I have had to have some music before doing that?
I think the answer to the question is that there are not prerequisites necessarily for majors, but there are prerequisites for courses, right?
That's right. That's the best answer. Yeah. Other questions?
We had one come in asking, how does the college professor or the professor work with the Office of Accessible Education and students that have medical conditions that may impact the day-to-day life as a student or testing, et cetera?
Well, first of all, as an instructor, at the beginning of each academic quarter, the Office of Accessible Education will send the instructor a document that describes the accommodations that a particular student needs. So a student needs, of course, to have worked with the office beforehand so that the office is then alerted to reach out to the faculty. John, Kat, you want to add anything to that?
I would just add, I think that faculty are very accommodating. I mean, our goal is to see every student succeed. In my own classes, when a student takes what would be a 1-hour exam, and perhaps the student has extra time or needs an accommodation, the student can take it over at OAE. I prefer, and I think it's better for the student, that the student work with me outside of hours, maybe start the test early or finish late, because I know more about it. I can answer questions about a physics test better than those folks can. So, but we work with everybody on an individual basis. Whatever is going to make the experience best for the student.
I can even speak on this from the student experience as someone who does have accommodations. For me, it's been incredibly easy. Before I started the school year, I was able to meet with someone from the Office of Accessible Education to kind of talk about what accommodations I would like to see. And he was able to approve them. It was a pretty seamless process. And once I actually started taking tests or having to work on projects or just even being in class and things that would require me to use my accommodations, literally all I had to do was just talk to my professor, whether that was sending an email, talking to them after class, and they made it really easy. So if I, for example, had to take a test outside of the classroom, I was able to meet maybe a little earlier or a little later outside of class time, and take it in my professor's office or another space. Also, the OAE portal has a specific section where students can kind of sign up for taking the test or at an OAE specific location. So I'd say like professors have been incredibly understanding and accommodating, and in my experience, this hasn't been an issue and has been incredibly seamless.
Super, thank you, Ambika. John, maybe we can stop sharing and we can see if people want to turn on their videos. We can see all their lovely faces.
We have a couple more questions that have come in. Kind of a follow-up to the major minor question. Someone was curious about cross-college classes. So is there an opportunity, like if a bio major wanted to take a business course in the life sciences or biotech with like a business lens, could they sign up for classes, or do they need permissions?
Well, it depends on what the prerequisites are for that class, whether there's space. John, Kat, do you want to answer the particular example? If a student in the college were taking a Levy School business course, it would probably depend both on prerequisites and permission from the instructor, right?
It would depend primarily on prerequisites, right? So some courses in the business school are open to everybody. Some are limited. What it takes introductory business classes, which may or may not be accessible to students in the college. So it depends. And there are many, especially those sort of interdisciplinary courses that students in the college are interested in. Many students do take those courses, and many students in the college will do a minor in the business school or something like that. So I would say it depends. You can always check the prerequisites in the course bulletin. And I think professors are always happy to answer questions about that too.
Okay, another question came in about transfer credits. So what's the process to determine if credits from another college earned during high school could transfer?
Well, the Camino course talks about that also. John, did you want to jump in, or Lori?
No, I would just say that there is a specific person in the registrar's office, and this is what she focuses upon. What I'm not sure of is when that would occur. Kat, would you know?
I think they're working on that right now. So it sort of happens between the time students are accepted and say that they're coming to Santa Clara and the time courses start. And if there seems to be any problem, or if you're expecting to see transfer credit show up, you'll be able to see it on the student's workday academic record as that gets populated through the registrar's office. So if you expect to see something and it's not showing up, or it's not showing up in the way you think it should, you can always email the registrar's office and check in with them. But they're working on it right now, so hang tight for a bit. And the other thing is for orientation, because there'll be in-person advisors during orientation to help students register. If one of those courses is a prerequisite for another course you want to take, or if you think it should be counting for something and like calculus, and therefore you should be taking a different math class, bring those records, the transcript or the whatever paperwork you have from that course, bring it with you to orientation, and the advisors can work with you to make sure that you end up in the right class.
I might add, in addition to the transcript, if your student can bring a description of the class, if it were the first calculus class, which topics were covered. Because we're a quarter system, sometimes the mapping from semester to quarter classes isn't as clean as you would hope.
Point.
Okay, we don't have, oh, another one just came in. Will the advisor that helps the student during orientation be the same advisor that will help them on an ongoing basis?
Probably not. Once students declare a major, and so some students have already done that, you are assigned an advisor within your major. The advisors at orientation are serving students from a variety of majors. They tend to either work closely with the Drummond Advising Center or sort of have broader experience. So it is likely that you will have a different academic advisor moving forward. And side note, I strongly suggest students check and see who their assigned academic advisor is, because that faculty member can look out for you and answer questions and help navigate your process from as soon as you step on campus.
And although the student is not required to see the advisor immediately, I would urge every student to meet the advisor in the fall.
And I would also add that if you have a double major, you should be assigned an advisor from each of your majors so that they can help you with, major specific classes and stuff like that.
Early and often.
I think the theme of this is talk to your professors and talk to your advisors. We're here to help.
It really is. Any other questions?
Was the question about the biology and pre-health answered? So there's a question, sorry, that says, if you are a major in biology on a pre-health track, do you get one advisor covering both? You'll get an advisor in biology Pre-health, we have a pre-health advisor who works with all sorts of from medical school to students who want to do nursing, who want to do physical therapy, named Brian McNellis. So he works in the Drummond Center. So he is an expert on, what do you need to do to get into medical school, for example, what's important. So he would be a good resource for people who want to do health careers, but you would also have a biology advisor.
Another question came in about if your child applied for one major but may be undecided, what should he or she do?
I have a friend who is in this situation. So she came in as a computer science major, but after taking computer science, realized that she didn't want to be a coder and wanted to try other things. And I think that's where the core curriculum comes in, because as a College of Arts and Sciences student, you are required to take classes in different disciplines. So you will be getting exposure to different areas to kind of help you decide whether or not you want to kind of stick with the major you came in with or want to change it up. So this friend of mine, I believe for the social sciences requirement, took economics 1 and realized that she really liked economics classes and now is in econ major. So I guess I'd recommend take classes outside of your major that you came in with, especially courses that satisfy requirements for the core curriculum, all which is available on the website. And that will allow you to get more exposure to different fields that you may be interested in declaring as a minor or major.
And at orientation, there's this advising session will split students up by sort of intended major. And so if a student comes in and has one declared major, but knows they're planning to do something else, and maybe that something else is not yet clear, the advice will be go to the advising session, which matches your intention. Go to the advising session that matches what you think you want to do, even if that's different from your declared major.
Other questions? I don't see any in the Q&A.
No more in the chat either.
Okay.
I've gotten some just directly to me. I don't know if other people have gotten ones directly to them in the chat, so.
I've not.
Hey parents, this is Steven, the Director of Parent and Family Communication and Engagement here. I just want to jump in real quick and let you know that you do have access to turn on your video and unmute your mic. So if you want to ask any questions live, please feel free to do that.
Everybody's going to save their presents for Santa Clara. Oh, wait. Hello. All right. Well, I'm not hearing any more questions. So we'll just say thank you. Thank you so much for this pre-orientation webinar for attending, and can't wait to see you next week or the week after, depending on when you're coming to orientation. Any last words, folks? No?
Thank you very much.